Marko Marulić, born in 1450 in Split, was a pivotal figure in the development of Croatian literature and a key intellectual of the Renaissance. His works, deeply influenced by classical learning, Christian ideals, and humanist values, offer profound insights into the human condition. Through his writings, Marulić imparts timeless lessons on morality, spirituality, intellectual growth, and social responsibility. His legacy transcends national borders, providing lessons that resonate in the modern world just as strongly as they did during his time. This video will explore his life, the key themes of his major works, and the life lessons derived from them, demonstrating their lasting relevance to contemporary society. The life and context of Marko Marulić. Early life and education. Marko Marulić was born into a well-off and educated family in Split, a city that, at the time, was part of the Venetian Republic. The city of Split, located on the Adriatic coast, played a significant role in the broader political and cultural developments of the time. Marulić grew up amid the turbulence of Ottoman expansion in the Balkans and the complex political dynamics of Venetian and Ottoman relations. Despite the hardships of his time, Marulić had the privilege of receiving a strong education, which was a rare advantage for someone of his era. He studied Latin and Greek, languages that were crucial to the study of classical literature and philosophy, which formed the basis of his humanist education. His education was deeply influenced by the humanist ideals of the Renaissance, which sought to revive classical antiquity's emphasis on reason, individual potential, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Renaissance encouraged a deep engagement with both the classical world and the early Christian tradition, and these influences would leave a lasting mark on Marulić's work. His early life and education would provide him with the intellectual tools needed to contribute significantly to the cultural and literary development of the region. The role of humanism in Marulić's work. Humanism, the intellectual movement that flourished during the Renaissance, placed a significant emphasis on the value of human potential, the pursuit of knowledge, and the study of classical texts from Greece and Rome. Humanists were interested not just in philosophy and science but also in literature, rhetoric, and the moral values embedded within classical and Christian traditions. Marulić, a child of this Renaissance humanist movement, drew heavily from both classical ideals and Christian teachings, blending the two in his work. Marulić was part of a broader trend of Renaissance thinkers who sought to reassert the importance of individual creativity and intellectual exploration while remaining deeply grounded in Christian values. However, what set Marulić apart was his decision to write in Croatian, unlike many of his contemporaries who wrote exclusively in Latin. This decision not only made his work more accessible to a broader audience but also demonstrated his commitment to elevating the Croatian language and culture, establishing a bridge between humanist ideals and local traditions. Marulić's humanist influences can be seen clearly in his engagement with classical literature and his development of a distinctly Croatian literary voice. Humanism's focus on education, intellectual curiosity, and the betterment of society informed his life and work, and these themes would be evident throughout his career. 2. Marulić's major works. Marko Marulić was a prolific writer whose works span multiple genres, including epic poetry, theological texts, and philosophical treatises. His most important writings reflect his concerns with morality, human nature, and the role of faith and reason in guiding human action. The following sections examine his key works and the life lessons embedded in each of them. Judita, the heroic story of virtue and courage. One of Marulić's most famous and significant works is Judita, an epic poem written in 1501. The poem is an adaptation of the biblical story of Judith, a heroine who saves her people from the Assyrian general Holofernes. Judith's courage, piety, and intelligence are highlighted throughout the poem as she embodies the triumph of virtue over evil. The central message of Judita revolves around the idea that righteousness and moral fortitude can overcome the greatest adversities. Judith's courage in the face of overwhelming odds is not just physical bravery, but a manifestation of inner strength derived from faith and moral conviction. By focusing on Judith's inner qualities rather than her external beauty or mere military prowess, Marulić reinforces the Renaissance humanist value that virtue is the highest ideal, one that transcends external appearances and material wealth. The poem also explores the theme of divine intervention and the idea that individuals who act with integrity and piety can rely on God's assistance in their struggle against evil forces. Judith's triumph is symbolic of the broader struggle between good and evil, and Marulić presents her not just as a military leader, but as a virtuous figure who achieves victory through faith, intellect, and courage. Life lesson: Judita teaches the importance of moral courage, the ability to remain steadfast in one's values even in the face of overwhelming challenges. It emphasizes that personal virtue and integrity are critical in overcoming adversity. Courage does not just lie in physical strength but in the moral fortitude to do what is right, even when the odds are stacked against you. B. Evangelisterium, the spiritual guide to Christian virtue. Another major work of Marulić is Evangelisterium, a collection of reflections on the Gospels of the New Testament. The work is deeply theological and explores the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, providing a Christian guide for living a virtuous life. In this text, Marulić emphasizes the need for personal reflection, spiritual growth, and alignment with divine will. The central theme of Evangelisterium is the idea that human life should be lived according to divine principles. Marulić presents Christ as the ultimate model of virtue, compassion, and sacrifice. He encourages readers to model their lives on Christ's teachings and to seek personal transformation through humility, service to others, and a constant striving for moral and spiritual excellence. While Evangelisterium is a deeply religious work, it also aligns with the broader humanist values of self-improvement, moral reflection, and personal responsibility. Marulić's work serves not just as a theological text but as a spiritual guide, encouraging individuals to cultivate their inner moral compass and to live lives that reflect divine grace. Life lesson: through Evangelisterium, Marulić teaches the importance of faith and spiritual reflection. He encourages individuals to live their lives in alignment with their higher spiritual values and to constantly strive for personal and moral improvement. Faith, humility, and a deep sense of responsibility to others are at the core of this lesson. C. De Institutione Beneficiarum, Charity and Social Responsibility. Marulić's treatise De Institutione Beneficiarum, on the institution of benefits, explores the moral and ethical responsibilities that individuals have toward others. The text discusses the role of charity and the importance of helping those in need, emphasizing that human beings have a moral duty to contribute to the well-being of their communities. The treatise provides a framework for understanding the concept of beneficium, or the gift of generosity, and outlines the conditions under which individuals should offer help. Marulić stresses that charity is not just an act of kindness, but a fundamental ethical responsibility that supports social cohesion and harmony. What is particularly striking in De Institutione Beneficiarum is Marulić's focus on the importance of personal responsibility. Charity, he argues, is not merely an act of generosity but also a reflection of one's personal commitment to the common good. By offering help to others, individuals contribute to a moral society in which compassion, solidarity, and mutual respect are foundational. Life lesson: the treatise emphasizes that charity and social responsibility are vital to the well-being of both individuals and society. Marulić teaches that empathy, compassion, and a sense of duty to others are not just moral ideals but essential aspects of a functional, just society. One's actions should contribute to the greater good, and generosity should be practiced as a responsibility rather than a choice. 3. Themes and life lessons in Marulić's works. The key themes in Marulić's work reflect his moral, philosophical, and spiritual beliefs. His writings provide profound lessons that continue to be relevant today. The major themes explored throughout his works include moral integrity, faith, the value of education, and social responsibility. A. The importance of moral integrity. Moral integrity is one of the cornerstones of Marulić's philosophy. From the heroic figure of Judith in Judita to the moral reflections found in Evangelisterium, Marulić underscores the importance of living a life consistent with one's values and ethical principles. In Judita, the heroism of Judith is not just about her physical strength but about her unwavering commitment to righteousness, and her triumph is a reflection of her moral clarity. Life lesson: Marulić teaches that true strength comes from living according to one's values, even when faced with hardship or temptation. Integrity is the foundation of personal dignity and respect, and it is essential for both individual and collective well-being. B. The role of faith in human life. Faith, both as a personal and communal experience, is central to many of Marulić's works. His theological writings, such as Evangelisterium, stress the importance of aligning one's life with divine will. Faith provides individuals with the strength to overcome challenges and act with moral conviction, even when faced with suffering or hardship. Life lesson: Marulić teaches that faith is a powerful tool for navigating life's uncertainties. It can provide direction, moral clarity, and a sense of purpose, helping individuals stay grounded even in difficult times. Faith, whether religious or personal, can be a source of deep strength and resilience. C. The value of education and intellectual growth. Marulić was deeply committed to intellectual and educational development. His works reflect his belief that the pursuit of knowledge was a means to cultivate virtue and to better understand one's place in the world. He believed that education was not just for personal enrichment but also for the betterment of society as a whole. Life lesson: Marulić's life and writings encourage us to view education as a lifelong pursuit. Knowledge empowers individuals to contribute meaningfully to society and to develop a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. Intellectual growth should be seen as an essential component of personal and moral development. D. Human compassion and social responsibility. Marulić also placed great emphasis on social responsibility, particularly through his work De Institutione Beneficiarum. He argued that individuals should act with compassion and contribute to the welfare of their communities. Charity, for Marulić, was not just a personal virtue but a societal necessity. It was essential for creating a just and cohesive community. Life lesson: Marulić teaches that compassion and social responsibility are not optional but essential to creating a just society. He urges us to practice empathy and generosity, recognizing that our well-being is interconnected with the well-being of others. 4. The relevance of Marulić's lessons today. The lessons derived from Marulić's life and work are not bound by time or place. They remain as relevant today as they were during his lifetime. His emphasis on moral integrity, faith, education, and social responsibility provides a blueprint for navigating the complexities of modern life. A. Moral leadership in the modern world. In an age where ethical leadership is often questioned, Marulić's focus on moral integrity provides an invaluable framework for contemporary leaders. His emphasis on living a life grounded in virtue and moral clarity serves as a model for those in positions of power and influence. B. Faith and spiritual reflection in a secular age. Though the world has become more secular, the importance of faith, whether religious or personal, remains as crucial as ever. In an age marked by uncertainty and confusion, Marulić's emphasis on faith as a source of guidance provides a sense of stability and direction. C. Education and cultural pride in a globalized world. Marulić's commitment to education and his advocacy for the Croatian language highlight the importance of both intellectual growth and cultural preservation. As globalization connects individuals from different backgrounds, Marulić's lessons remind us to embrace our cultural heritage while remaining open to the exchange of ideas. 6. Marulić's legacy in Croatian literature. Marko Marulić's impact on Croatian literature cannot be overstated. As a literary pioneer, he laid the foundation for the development of Croatian literature and played an essential role in the elevation of the Croatian language. Before Marulić, the Croatian literary tradition was mostly restricted to oral epics, folklore, and occasional works written in Latin or other European languages. By using Croatian as the medium for his writings, he helped shape the future of Croatian literary expression and ensured that Croatian literature gained recognition beyond the borders of its homeland. A. The cultural significance of writing in Croatian. Marulić's decision to write in his native language, Croatian, was not only a literary revolution but also an act of national pride. It was uncommon for writers of his time, especially those of such intellectual caliber, to abandon Latin for their native tongue. Marulić's efforts in this regard were both practical and symbolic. His works became more accessible to a broader Croatian audience, and they resonated with the cultural identity of the people. His language choice marked a pivotal moment in Croatian literary history. In doing so, Marulić contributed significantly to the preservation and standardization of the Croatian language, at a time when the influence of Venetian and Ottoman cultures dominated much of the region. His contribution to linguistic and cultural pride is evident in how Croatian literature later blossomed with increased national recognition. Life lesson: Marulić's commitment to using his native language highlights the importance of cultural preservation. Language is a vital part of identity, and embracing one's cultural roots can strengthen both personal and communal bonds. Marulić teaches us the power of language in connecting people to their history, heritage, and each other. 7. Marulić's humanism, a fusion of faith and reason. Marko Marulić is often celebrated for his synthesis of humanism and religious faith. As a writer, philosopher, and theologian, he recognized that humanism's ideals, those rooted in classical antiquity, could coexist with the Christian values of compassion, humility, and divine purpose. Marulić's ability to reconcile these seemingly divergent traditions made him an important figure in the intellectual world of his time. A. Humanism and Christian virtue. At its core, Renaissance humanism promoted the potential for human achievement and the importance of cultivating virtues through education and reason. Marulić embraced these ideas but did not abandon his deep Christian faith. Instead, he integrated both traditions into his writings. In works like Evangelistorium, Marulić uses reason to explore Christian themes, presenting faith not as a blind submission to divine will but as something that can be rationally understood and appreciated. By uniting classical thought with Christian values, Marulić demonstrated that human reason could be used to understand and follow divine will, rather than being at odds with it. His approach marked a balanced integration of faith and reason, where intellectual pursuit and spiritual devotion could coalesce into a well-rounded and virtuous life. Life lesson: Marulić teaches us that intellectual growth and faith are not mutually exclusive but can enrich each other. By seeking wisdom through both reason and faith, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of our purpose and contribute to the well-being of others. His life demonstrates the importance of embracing both the intellectual and the spiritual aspects of our existence. 8. Marulić's views on leadership and responsibility. Another significant aspect of Marulić's work is his exploration of leadership and the moral responsibilities that come with it. His writing reflects a deep understanding of the human condition, particularly how individuals in positions of power must act ethically and responsibly for the benefit of the greater good. Ethical leadership in a changing world. In Judita, the central figure, Judith, exemplifies qualities of moral and virtuous leadership. She is not a ruler by birth but a leader by virtue. Her actions, rooted in personal integrity and a sense of duty, reflect the qualities Marulić believed were essential in leaders. Marulić suggests that true leadership is not about power or control but about selflessness, responsibility, and a dedication to moral principles. Marulić's views on leadership transcend gender and class, placing value on moral character as the defining trait of a leader. He understood that leadership in the Renaissance world, and by extension, in any era, required not only intellectual and strategic ability but also ethical grounding and a commitment to justice. Life lesson: Marulić's writing encourages us to value ethical leadership, both in our personal lives and in our professional careers. True leaders inspire by example, demonstrating integrity, empathy, and a commitment to the greater good, rather than self-interest or power. 9. Marulić and the Renaissance humanist ideal of the well-rounded person. In line with Renaissance humanist thinking, Marulić emphasized the importance of developing a well-rounded, fully realized individual. This ideal was rooted in the belief that a person should not only pursue intellectual knowledge but also cultivate virtues, engage in artistic expression, and contribute to society in meaningful ways. Cultivating virtue and wisdom. Marulić's works are rich with philosophical reflection on human nature, the role of education, and the development of virtue. He advocates for the idea that one's intellectual capabilities should be used not just for personal gain but for the betterment of society. He highlights the need for balance in life, between intellectual pursuits, moral character, and engagement with the world. In a way, Marulić's humanist ideal aligns with the Renaissance notion of the universal man, or homo universalis, a person who strives to master various fields of study and develop both their intellectual and moral faculties. Marulić encourages the pursuit of knowledge as a way to refine one's character and contribute meaningfully to society. Life lesson: Marulić's humanist philosophy teaches that true success is not measured by personal wealth or fame but by the degree to which one develops a well-rounded character. A balance of intellect, moral virtue, and social engagement leads to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Marulić's influence on later generations and his continued relevance. Marko Marulić's influence extended well beyond his time. His ideas about language, virtue, and education had a lasting impact on the literary and intellectual landscape of Croatia and Europe. His legacy inspired later Croatian poets and thinkers, and his works continue to be studied as a crucial part of both Croatian and world literature. Marulić's lasting cultural influence. Throughout the centuries, Marulić's works have remained central to the cultural and intellectual life of Croatia. His contributions to Croatian literature helped shape the development of the national literary canon, and his emphasis on the Croatian language laid the foundation for future generations of Croatian writers. Beyond literature, his influence also extended to the fields of philosophy, religion, and education. His ideas on humanism, faith, and virtue continue to be taught in educational institutions across Croatia and beyond. Continued relevance in a globalized world. Marulić's lessons about the integration of faith and reason, the value of education, and the importance of moral character remain as pertinent today as they were in the 15th century. In a modern world where globalization often leads to the erosion of local cultures, Marulić's emphasis on preserving cultural identity and embracing intellectual growth serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of maintaining one's roots while engaging with the global community. Moreover, his focus on moral integrity and ethical leadership is increasingly relevant as society grapples with challenges of inequality, corruption, and ethical decision-making in both politics and business. Life lesson: Marulić's enduring relevance highlights the importance of cultural preservation, intellectual growth, and ethical leadership in the modern world. His life and work encourage us to remain connected to our roots while adapting to the changing dynamics of the globalized world, fostering a balance of tradition and progress. Conclusion: Marko Marulić's life and work serve as an enduring testament to the values of humanism, intellectual curiosity, moral integrity, and social responsibility. His writings continue to inspire and guide individuals seeking to live virtuous lives, contribute to society, and navigate the complexities of the modern world. From his championing of the Croatian language to his ability to integrate faith and reason, Marulić's legacy transcends time and culture. Through his works, we learn that personal growth, education, and ethical leadership are key to shaping a just and compassionate world. As we reflect on his teachings, we are reminded that the pursuit of knowledge and virtue, combined with a deep sense of social responsibility, will always lead to a life of meaning and fulfillment.